Speaking to wealthy donors, Hillary Clinton called tens of millions of Americans deplorable.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
People like you, and you. Deplorable. You know what's deplorable? Hillary Clinton viciously demonizing hard-working people like you.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And he has lifted them up. Now, some of those folks, they are irredeemable, but thankfully they are not America.
I am a friend and supporter of Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is now neck and neck with Hillary Clinton. So Hillary is basically calling a huge portion of America deplorable and irredeemable. Hillary, you bow to and take money from countries who throw gays off buildings. You take money for your so-called charity from countries that don't allow women to drive. A so-called feminist who supports countries that force women to cover every part of their bodies but their eyeballs. On the eve of the 15th anniversary of 9/11, if I'm from Lower Manhattan, San Bernardino, or Orlando, and I'm afraid of a Muslim jihadist, I'm an Islamophobe? You, Hillary, the queen of Black Lives Matter, you want to call me a racist?
But that other basket of people are people who feel the government has let them down. Nobody worries about what happens to their lives and their futures. And they're just desperate for change.
We are desperate for change, and you sure ain't it. We're fed up with your kind of government, where the Attorney General secretly meets with your husband while you're the target of an active criminal investigation with no less than 100 FBI agents, and you come out days later promising that you'll keep her on as Attorney General if you become president. You're right. We're fed up with your kind of government where the destruction of subpoenaed evidence with hammers and bleach bin and delete buttons are tolerated, where you simply ignore subpoenas and you destroy federal documents, where the head of the FBI, when called upon to explain before Congress why you're not being charged with a myriad of federal felonies, is so outclassed and so outlawyered. Hillary, you are a liar, and a pathological one at that. You're a cheat, you're dishonest, you are condescending, you are arrogant. The ordinary people, Hillary, the people who have to follow the law, who have no choice but to pay their taxes, who have to work 2 and 3 jobs, who fight for all of us, many of whom come back with fewer limbs, don't want a president who hates us. We don't want a president who thinks that we're deplorable. And on this, the eve of the worst terror attack on this great nation's soil by Islamic terrorists, I can't trust a president who doesn't think that I'm worthy of being an American.
Our next president faces daunting challenges in a dangerous world. Iran promoting terrorism, North Korea threatening, ISIS on the rise, Libya and North Africa in chaos. Hillary Clinton failed every single time as Secretary of State. Now she wants to be president. Hillary Clinton doesn't have the fortitude, strength, or stamina to lead in our world. She failed as Secretary of State. Don't let her fail us again.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this
asking for the vote of every African American citizen struggling in our country today who wants a different and much better future. It's time for our society to address some honest and very, very difficult truths. The Democratic Party has failed and betrayed the African American community. Democratic crime policies, education policies, and economic policies have produced only more crime, more broken homes, and more poverty.
I did not email any classified material to anyone on my emails.
I never sent or received any classified material.
110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined by the owning agency to contain classified information at the time they were sent or received.
I have confidence that everything that could be in any way connected to work is now in the possession of the State Department.
The FBI also discovered several thousand work-related emails that were not among the group of 30,000 emails returned by Secretary Clinton to State in 2014.
Thought it would be easier to carry just one device for my work and for my personal emails instead of two.
Secretary Clinton used several different servers, and she also used numerous mobile devices to send and to read email on that personal domain.
The Clintons did not live up to their promise to disclose all foreign donations.
Now the foundation has had to refile 5 years of tax returns because at least 3 of those years they reported 0 donations from foreign governments when in fact there were tens of millions of dollars.
It was allowed, and the rules have been clarified since I left about the practice.
None of these emails should have been on any kind of unclassified system. They were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information.
Standard, and then there's a standard for everybody else.
What's the Hillary standard?
Well,
you're against same-sex marriage, now you're for it. You defended President Obama's immigration policies, now you say they're too harsh. You supported his trade deal dozens of times. You even called it the gold standard. Now, suddenly last week, you're against it.
Unfounded, inaccurate, mean-spirited attacks with no basis in truth. Reality.
We had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
I have been as straightforward and honest as I could be. I did not send or receive any information that was marked classified at the time.
110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined by the owning agency to contain classified information.
Will you say anything to get elected?
Syria.
What about the option of controlling the airspace so that barrel bombs cannot be dropped?
All the options.
What do you think of that option, sir?
Right now, Senator, for us to control all of the airspace in Syria would require us to go to war against Syria and Russia. That's a pretty fundamental decision that certainly I'm not going to make.
In Hillary Clinton's America, the system stays rigged against Americans. Syrian refugees flood in. Illegal immigrants convicted of committing crimes get to stay, collecting Social Security benefits, skipping the line. Our border open, it's more of the same, but worse. Donald Trump's America is secure. Terrorists and dangerous criminals kept out. The border secured. Our families safe. Change that makes America safe again. Donald Trump for president.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
The politicians can pretend it's something else, but Donald Trump calls it radical Islamic terrorism. That's why he's calling for a temporary shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until we can figure out what's going on. He'll quickly cut the head off ISIS and take their oil. And he'll stop illegal immigration by building a wall on our southern border that Mexico will pay for.
We will make America great again.
On Tuesday, November 8th, this country will make one of the most important decisions in its history.
You have a chance.
You have an obligation
to be a part of that decision.
You might think it's not important. You might think you're not important.
But that's not true. And the only way we can prove that to you is by having lots of famous people.
Lots of famous people.
Just a shit ton of famous people.
Repeating how important.
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 Important. Important.
Important.
How important it is. Register.
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 Vote.
But you only get this many famous people together if the issue's
one that truly matters to all of us.
A disease or
ecological crisis or
a racist, abusive coward who could permanently damage the fabric of our society.
Do the math.
But we can end this nightmare before it begins.
We can save the day.
For our children.
For our children.
For our children.
For our communities.
For our communities.
For our communities.
For America.
For America.
For America.
All it takes is all of us.
All of us.
All of us.
We cannot pretend both sides are equally unfavorable.
We can't say one vote doesn't matter.
Your vote matters.
Your vote matters.
It affects everything.
Not just the presidency, but the Senate.
The House.
Your local officials.
Immigration.
Immigrant.
Student debt.
Common sense gun laws.
The Supreme Court.
See, this isn't just an election, it's a tipping point.
For the country.
For the world.
For your world.
We're all in this together. That's why the most popular or memorable actor is the last one you see.
So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I say these words to you tonight. I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you.